Hey, it's Cole with Tough Cookie, and I'm back with another video. So, from the previous video on how to actually make a mold, I am now doing a silicone mold for you today. So, I purchased clear contact paper and also this clear container from Dollar Tree. So, I cut the bottom with a X-Acto knife, and that is what you see here. And I'm unpeeling the contact paper. So, I'm going to stick the container on top of the contact paper, and I'm gonna straighten it out by being rolled. It has little lines in it, and that will show at the top of your silicone mold. If that doesn't bother you, I mean, it doesn't show in your mold, but it will have like little wrinkles by the paper being kind of rolled. And you also want to make sure you're not touching that paper as much either, because your fingerprints or debris or dust, hair will get stuck on it. So I have a hot glue gun. I'm just going to seal the edges of the container to the clear contact paper, and that just will help to make sure that when you pour your mold, it will not leak out. So here I'm taking my pieces that I want to actually have a mold of, and which is the African pieces. I'm going to stick that onto the contact paper. The contact paper just make sure that it's adhered and won't slide during this process. I'm going to pour my silicone up high, and I follow the directions on the mold itself. So directions is mix A and B together well. I mixed it for about 3 minutes, and I'm pouring high to avoid having any bubbles in the mold itself, because you don't want a lot of bubbles to be in your mold, because it will come out in your piece. And I just added a picture of the actual mold that I'm using, which is Mold Star 15. It do take about 4 hours, but I believe I let it go for about 6 hours, which was overnight for me. And then I just popped it out in the morning. So for this piece, I had to make about 8 ounces. As you can see, I'm running a little low here, so I just made another 4 or 3 ounces, and then I continue to pour. But let me tell you something. Silicone is expensive. You hear me? So for this, it was $36, I believe, from off of Amazon. What I would have done differently is maybe add some other stuff into the pieces, where I could maybe do a little small set of earrings or a keychain or another piece, because yeah, once you start to pour this stuff and you see gaps of something that you could pour where you have a little bit more resin, you don't want to miss that opportunity, because yeah, it's expensive. with your prototype, you want to make sure that it is exactly what you want to replicate. So if you have pieces or a mold that you're trying to make and those pieces aren't very well made, let's say the edges are rough or you have holes or bumps in it, you will see it in your mold, and that will make your next set come out that way. So you definitely want to look over your pieces and do any fine tuning before you get to this point. So I covered it up with a sheet of paper for overnight. I didn't want any hair, dust, or debris getting in it. And now I'm just checking it to make sure that it is ready to demold my pieces or take my pieces out. It is. I'm flipping it over and I'm going to peel it off of the contact paper. So you can see some of my pieces wasn't stuck very well to the paper itself, and that's why it's covered over top of the silicone mold, but that's okay. We're going to fix that. So I'm going to take the X-Acto knife and just cut around the edges of it as neatly as I can, and I only want to cut the edges. I don't want to change the mold itself, so that's what I'm doing here. And so on the top of the mold, you can see the lines from contact paper. That doesn't affect the mold itself. Unfortunately, I ran out of storage space. So it's not gonna show me popping the pieces out. But yeah, this is how you make your mold. There is a part 2 of me pouring into this mold, so look out for that. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. I never met a tough cookie that wasn't sweet. Continue to be you, and see you next time. Bye.